I've got you under my skin. I've got you deep in the heart of me. So deep in my heart that you're really a part of me. I've got you under my skin.
I've tried so not to give in. I've said to myself this affair never will go so well. But why should I try to resist when baby I know so well? I've got you under my skin.
I would sacrifice anything
for the sake
of having you here in spite of a warning voice that keeps repeating in my ear. Don't you know, fool, you never can win. Use your mentality, step up, wake up to reality. But each time that I do, just the thought of you makes me stop before I begin. 'Cause I've got you under my skin. I would sacrifice anything from what might for the sake of having you near.
In spite of a warning voice comes in the night and repeats how it yells in my ear.
Don't you know, little fool, ain't no chance to win.
Why not use your mentality? Step up, wake up to reality.
But each time I do just like I do, makes me stop just before I begin. Got you under my skin.
And I like you under my skin.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens, brown paper packages tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Cream-colored ponies and crisp apple strudels, doorbells and sleigh bells and schnitzel with wheels. These are a few of my favorite things. Ooh.
Snowflakes that stay on my nose and eyelashes, silver white winters
Accidents can happen to one. I'm gonna slide. There's a good chance in finding romance when two hearts collide. Well, I know that's just how it happened. Romeo found Juliet. I know somewhere I read that Romeo said, pardon me, pardon me, oh pardon me. Haven't we
Now and then I think of when we were together, like when you said you were so happy you could die. I told myself that you were right for me. I felt so lonely in your company, but that was love and it's an ache I still remember.
And then change your number. Guess that I don't need that though.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know. You're just somebody that I used to know.
Now and then I think of all the times you screwed me over. That had me believe that it was only something that I'd done. But I don't wanna live that way, reading into every word you say. You said that you could let it go, and I'm worried that you hung up on somebody that you used to know. Treat me like a stranger and it feels so rough. Stood so long. Change your number. I guess that I need that road.
Now you're just somebody that I used to know.
That I used to know. That I used to know. That I used to know. That I used to know.
Hi, we are the Jazz Chords of Calloway. We're here to do a pre-show for you so you're not totally bored before Showstoppers starts. We're going to have one more song for you, and then we're going to clear out our stuff and get you ready for the marching band, which will start out the actual show. So, I'm going to pretend that this is a Thanksgiving song. This is Home for the Holidays. Good job, guys. That's great. Everything went in the back room? Oh. Tristan.
Calloway School of the Arts Spirit Marching Band proudly presents All the Queen's Roses. Our show this year is a musical portrayal of one scene from Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland. The gardeners have mistakenly planted white roses instead of red and have been frantically painting the roses so that the queen will not have their heads separated from their bodies. The show is presented in 3 sections. 1, roses of white and red. 2, overtaking. 3, off with their heads. Music includes The Fourth Cataclysm by Theodore Shapiro, Jar of Hearts by Christina Perry, Battle of the Moors by James Newton Howard, and original music by John Meehan. Original and arranged music by John Meehan. 6th grade students read Alice in Wonderland and watched the marching band performance. They then designed their own musical performances inspired by literature.
My roses.
Welcome to Calloway School of the Arts production of Showstoppers. This year's theme is fusion.
According to Merriam-Webster, fusion is defined as a merging of a diverse, distinct, or separate elements into a unified whole.
In each number you will see today, there will be an arts and an academic component.
You will see aspects of English, science, math, language, social studies, health, and history incorporated into the show.
A brief video, like this one, will explain the connection between the two areas before each piece is presented.
Now, for some housekeeping rules before we start. No flash photography, no catcalling, and no eating or drinking in the theater.
Parents, if you have a fussy baby, please be courteous and take them to the lobby as to not disrupt the flow of the show.
Now sit back, relax, and enjoy this year's production of Fusion.
Hi, I'm Mr. Greider, the high school digital communication arts teacher. This video is a collaboration between Mrs. Cohen-Sherlock, Mr. Kafader, and myself to create a visual explanation of the science of dance. My students created an animation that works to explain how certain senses and muscles contribute to the movements throughout the different dance techniques. I hope you enjoy.
Hi, my name is Dan Kafader. I'm a teacher at Calloway, and here I teach biology to 10th grade students and also physical science. I'm also a CAB alum, graduated 2003. This collaboration between the science and art departments was designed to give viewers an understanding of the science behind the complex art form of dance. To do this, we will go over some introductory concepts related to the nervous system and muscular system of the body. The brain and central nervous system receive inputs about the body's environment from sense organs. Most people can identify the classic 5 senses: sight, hearing, touch, taste, and smell. But what most of us don't realize is that we actually have many more senses. We're only going to focus on 2 other senses outside of the classic 5 for this video. Those would be the sense of balance and another sense called proprioception, which allows the body to receive information about the position of limbs in space. The body uses a structure known as the vestibular apparatus located in the inner ear to sense when the head is moving. By integrating information about head movement, the brain can sense whether or not the body is in balance. The information that the vestibular apparatus provides to the brain is sent along the 8th cranial nerve to the cerebellum, the part of the brain that is responsible for perceiving and regulating balance. Additionally, the body also has specialized nerve cells, known as proprioceptors, located throughout the muscular system that send electrical signals to the brain through various nerve pathways about how much the muscles and joints are stretched during movement. As the dancers perform this jump, you can see the contraction of their muscles in concert with the movement of their joints throughout their bodies. This coordinated motion is possible because of the continuous information input and output between the vestibular apparatus, proprioceptors, cerebellum, and cerebral cortex of the brain. As you watch this grand mom by a dance student, notice that the body ends in a highly contracted pose. To achieve this, the gastrocnemius in the calf, quadriceps and hamstrings in the upper leg, obliques and abdominals in the torso, along with the deltoids and trapezius in the shoulders, must all be contracted in a coordinated fashion. As you have seen, the art of dance requires a concert of brain and muscles working together to be pulled off. Enjoy the performance.
In the next piece, the Dance 1-2 will be dancing a jazz piece to the music Look at Me by Cassandra Bartho that includes strong, dynamic, and acrobatic movements with a stylistic flair of attitude.
When you think of mathematics and music, you might think of the timing of a piece or the frequency of each pitch. My AP Calculus students teamed up with Miss Badger's piano students to demonstrate how mathematics can be used to model the shape of a piece of music. The students use a technique called regression to create equations whose graphs follow the shape of two pieces of piano music. Then they found the derivatives or equations of the slopes of their regression equations and compared the two. It was a lot of work and a lot of fun collaborating with Miss Badger and her students. I hope you enjoy how the mathematics and music interact in these two beautiful pieces.
On Friday evening and Sunday afternoon, you are hearing Claude Debussy's beautiful Arabesque, which he considered a line mirroring the cubes of nature, celebrated by the visual artists of the Art Nouveau. On Saturday evening, you are hearing Aaron Copland's The Cat and the Mouse, which is based on Jean La Fontaine's fable, The Old Cat and the Young Mouse. You will hear them running all over the piano.
Mel Brooks created a musical version of his hilarious movie, Young Frankenstein, that the Musical Theater Company will now perform for you. In this song, The Brain, Dr. Frankenstein explains why he's so fascinated with the functions of the brain, and even gives a demonstration between voluntary and involuntary nerve impulses, or as we say at Cab Calloway, action potentials. Listen carefully to the ending of the song when his assistants rattle off a list of famous scientists. See how many you can catch. Here is the Musical Theater Company's presentation of The Brain.
It's been said that your grandfather brought that tissue back to life. Is that true, Dr. Frankenstein?
It's been said that your grandfather created a horrifying monster. Is that true, Dr. Frankenstein? It's been said, nay, even sung, that your grandfather's monster hurt and lamed, killed and maimed. Is that true, Dr. Frankenstein? Is that true, Dr. Frankenstein? Is that true, Dr. Frankenstein? Is that true? Is that true? Is that true? Is that true, Dr. Frankenstein?
That's Frankenstein! Huh? My name, it's pronounced Frankenstein. Oh. Yes, yes. The whole world knows what my grandfather did, but please, do I look like the kind of madman who would prowl around graveyards digging up freshly buried corpses? Don't answer that. I'm not a Frankenstein. I don't indulge in hijinks or tomfoolery. I'm not a Frankenstein. I don't believe in mummies, ghosts, or ghoulery. I deal in fact, not fiction. I am a scientist. I live for truth and reason. That's the reason I exist. Now, there is a vast difference between my crazy grandfather's delusional experiments and my own devotion to pure science. Which leads me directly to the subject of today's lecture. The brain. There is nothing like the brain. Hearts and lungs are simply tinker toys when stacked against the brain. Insane. I'm insane about the brain. No invention in the universe is equal to the brain. The mouth's a marvel when it comes to eating. I've nothing against the womb. I thank the bladder when I'm excreting, and I always give the elbow room. But the brain, please allow me to explain. There's no organ to compare to it. I swear to it. It's plain. It's the brain. Now, questions.
I'm not sure I understand the difference between voluntary and involuntary nerve impulses.
Very good. Our lab work today is a demonstration of just that distinction. Now, Mr. Hilltop here, with whom I have never worked or given any prior instruction to, has graciously offered his services for today's demonstration. If you would hop up, Mr. Hilltop. Good hopping. His oblongata tells his brainstem that it's got a sudden impulse full of data, which creates a lot of pain. His frontal lobe gets busy with a thought that makes him dizzy, puts his cortex in a tizzy, so he never will complain. That's what he loves about the brain. Now, Mr. Hilltop, would you raise your left knee, please? You have just witnessed a voluntary nerve impulse. Mr. Hilltop, you may lower your knee. Reflex movements, on the other hand, are those which are made independently of the will. Why, you dirty rotten bottom! even though I almost punched him, his reflexes have some function. There's a cognitive disjunction, it's important I explain. Synaptic nerve connection goes its way without detection, bringing cranial protection in a never-ending chain. That's what he loves about the brain. But what if we were to block these nerve impulses, which can be done using any ordinary metal clamp, at the base of the swelling of the posterior nerve root for, 4 seconds. I use shuttle-colored turkey will start! As you can see, though I have just smashed my fist into his crotch, he feels absolutely nothing. More or less. And so, if it were not for this constant stream of motor impulses from the brain, we would collapse like a bunch of broccoli! And in conclusion, so there's no confusion, let me say it once again. Though your genitalia has been known to failure, you can place your bets on the brain. The brain! There is nothing like the brain. It's the king of our anatomy, and never shall it reign.
Compare him to Freud and you'll feel highfalutin. Call him a charm when he loves the man's theory. Call him Pester and watch him get teary.
So Medicare, that would be the best.
Call him a Rorschach, he's up to the test.
He really lights up when you call him medicine. Call him an Alec, he likes that man's medicine.
Call him Marconi, that wireless wow. Call him Peppermint, he'll bark like a chow. Call him an Einstein and that would be fine. Call him a testing lunatic.
Don't you call him your Frankenstein would be insane. 'Cause I
During the first and second acts, the introduction to acting, students will be reading Shakespeare's sonnets. All of the sonnets make use of simile, metaphor, imagery, alliteration, and assonance, all of which contribute to the character's wants and needs. Enjoy Shakespeare's sonnets.
In faith, I do not love thee with thine eyes, for they in thee 1,000 errors do note. But 'tis my heart that loves what they despise, for in spite of view, am pleased to dote.
Nor are mine ears with thy tongue's tune delighted, nor tender feeling to base touches prone, nor taste, nor smell desires to be invited to any sensual feast with thee alone.
But my 5 wits, nor my 5 senses can dissuade the foolish heart from serving thee. But 'tis my proud slave and vassal wretch to be.
My only plague, thus far I count my gain, but she that makes me sin awards me pain.
Being your slave, what should I do but tend upon the hours and times of your desire? For I have no precious time at all to spend, nor services to do till you require.
Nor dare I chide the world without an hour, whilst I, my sovereign, watch the clock for you, nor think the bitterness of absence sour, when you have bid your servant once a day.
Nor dare I question with my jealous thought where you may be, or your affairs suppose. But, like a sad slave, stay and think of naught, save where you are, and how happy you make those.
So true a fool is love, that in your will, though you do anything, he thinks no ill.
A piece about water was choreographed for the 6th grade dance majors. Water is a very special material. We know we can't survive without it. Water is very important all by itself, too. Water undulates in the waves we see at the beach and out in the ocean. Water flows. Water is sticky, both to itself and other materials. All of these qualities of water were touched on in this dance piece. Make sure to look out for them. Water is ubiquitous. Water is everywhere. Water is life.
The piece you're about to see is a devised theater piece. When Mr. Moser and Miss Curry came and talked to me about this, I thought, oh yeah, let's work together. That sounds great. What's devised theater? You might know, but devised theater, I had to look it up. It can be lots of different things. It uses the text as a catalyst for creative experiment. After looking at some examples, this would be an excellent alternative assessment. So 8th graders, get ready. In order to create a devised piece, you really have to understand the text as a whole and the many nuances on which complex text functions. In this case, students have created the devised piece together based on the tone of the text, The Diary of Anne Frank, an important part of the 8th grade ELA curriculum. After talking to Ms. Curry and Mr. Moser, it seems to me that devised theater gets at the humanity of a text. I can think of no better inspiration for this humanity than the diary of a young girl, surrounded by a gruesome, harsh reality as she navigates through her own childhood. The piece you're about to see is a devised theater piece. When Mr. Moser and Ms. Curry came
March 16th, 1944. Dearest Kitty.
Dearest Kitty.
Dearest Kitty.
Dearest Kitty.
Dearest Kitty. The weather is gorgeous, indescribably beautiful. I'll be going up to the attic in a moment. I take refuge in the attic. When I'm there with you, I can be myself, at least for a little while. Still, I don't want to moan and groan. I want to be brave. July 15th, 1944. Dearest Kitty.
Dearest Kitty.
Dearest Kitty. Dearest Kitty. Dearest Kitty. Anyone who claims that the older folks have a more difficult time in the annex doesn't realize that the problems have a far greater impact on us.
We're much too young to deal with these problems, but they keep thrusting themselves on us until finally we're forced to think up solutions. Though most of our solutions crumble when faced with the facts.
It's difficult in times like these.
Ideals,
dreams, and cherished hope
all rise within us, only to be crushed by grim reality. It's a wonder I haven't abandoned all my ideals. They seem so absurd and impractical.
Yet, I cling to them, because I still believe, in spite of everything, that people are truly good at heart.
When I look up at the sky, I somehow feel that everything will change for the better.
That this cruelty too shall pass. That peace and tranquility will return once more.
In the meantime, I must hold on to my ideals. Perhaps a day will come when I'll be able to realize them. Yours, Anne M. Frank.
By combining communication arts and sixth grade reading classes, we gave every sixth grader a chance to describe their ideas of what art means.
After the sixth graders created poetry with their ideas, we shared them using Google Docs. Communication arts majors and animation students used these poems as inspiration to create the following media art.
Voices of Calloway, spoken word. In this presentation, students explored the idea of language as an art form, whether written or performed. Please enjoy.
One single word transforms like a blossom, creating one big, bright, beautiful picture, movement in motion with words in action.
When I act, I feel like I am flying. I feel like I am free. I feel like I am a seal in the sea swimming. I can be me when the light keeps dimming.
Confidence is a powerful force that can change a life, but too much can ruin a person. You have to put yourself in the light. You can't hide in the shadows because you aren't one person. You are a community. You are a life. You are a future. When I take identity's place, I enter a new world. I can see everything like an open door. The classroom walls are now a masterpiece of paint. That world I will hold it tight. That world is my life. The water, thy the wave by your hair, and thy the wind through mind. But you can't judge if I just say that I am all different kinds of art. I can be one and feel the things they go through. But my quote, if you can't be one with someone or thing, because you're different, even if you are a twin.
Ready to stand. The sun was setting orange, bland. The bay was blue with green land. Only the glimmer on the sand made me turn around, where I came to my fate as a dreamer. My heart beats like 1,000 drums are playing. When I speak, my body freezes. Among I stand in battle.
When we are acting, even though we are pretending, everything that happens on stage is completely real. We are putting ourselves in other people's shoes and are experiencing what they experience, while convincing the audience that we truly feel that way, even though I know I'm not who I'm playing. I truly am.
My heart beats like 1,000 drums playing. When I speak, my body freezes, and now I stand in battle. I open my mouth.
The words don't come out.
I'm struggling as of now.
Struggling on how to allow.
I'm struggling to allow myself to speak.
I feel like a freak.
My future seems bleak.
I see my friends too, in the center of the room.
I'm good to go.
I start speaking and just go with the flow.
Hi, my name is Bonnie Ayers. I'm the strings teacher at Calloway. We're playing Spartacus today. Spartacus was a gladiator in the Roman era. He led a slave revolt and fought against the Roman Empire soldiers. Our piece starts portraying the oppression of the slaves. They break free, and there's a big battle scene at the end. We hope you enjoy Spartacus.
During the September 1939 Nazi invasion of Poland, the Polish radio broadcast Chopin's Military Polonaise in A major each morning. to embolden the courage and fortitude of the Polish people. Today, we are playing this piece in honor of our nurse, Major Ann Cloud, who is currently serving the U.S. military, flying the wounded out of Afghanistan. I am Nurse Patty Root, caring for the Calloway students in her absence. Nurse Cloud, our indebted thanks, and this tribute goes out to you.
Good evening. The Cab Calloway Concert Band, directed by Dr. Carlton Cannon, will be performing The Strutaway, a comedic jazz dance made famous by Jimmy Durante and Frank Sinatra. Enjoy.
I collaborated with Mrs. Ostafi to introduce the Day of the Dead to her art students. I taught them Spanish words and the tradition of the Day of the Dead in Mexico as it's celebrated, and their artwork is hanging in the gallery.
Culture is defined as the collective manifestation of human intellectual achievement. In 8th grade English, we begin the year studying culture and creating our own class culture. This year, Miss Ostafi and I partnered to synthesize the 8th grade self-portrait assignment with the English Culture Collection. A self-portrait is by nature a reflection of who you are and where you're from. So the idea to tie this to our 8th grade ELA curriculum was pretty straightforward. Miss Ostafi's visual arts majors infused their self-portraits with symbols and images reflective of their culture, a true human intellectual and artistic achievement. Culture is defined as the collective manifestation of human intellectual achievement.
Voices of Calloway, Immortal Art. Some art takes on a life of its own once created. Other art is temporary in nature. Art as immortality is the concept behind this collaboration.
Lines of color stay forever. One streak leaves many others.
No greater challenge, no greater thrill than spending my day with imaginary people, going through their amazing worlds, much more exciting than mine.
Writing makes me free. Short stories I can't believe. All this fun for me. My page is vibrant with designs, and I feel calm with my lonesome lines. As long as my mind is clear, I can feel my creativity run without fear.
Lines of color stay forever, one streak leads many others.
I see the sky, a tranquil mix of blues transformed to green. I feel the wind blowing through my hair like all of the petals off a cherry blossom. I smell the sweet air as if I was a part of it. I feel free, free to be who I am.
Art isn't an escape to a forest or a sea. You can choose where you want to be.
I love when I do it. I go to a different world. I don't ever want to reboot it. Art gives me joy. Art gives me hope. I love it so much, I'll never let it go.
I let my pen in control, and I see beautiful things appear on my paper.
And when I write, it is like Shakespeare writing, and my writing is as long as traffic in New York.
My hands are my instruments. I show emotions through my art.
Through the mind and the soul, you can escape your troubles.
Every worry that is in my brain falls out like water vapor falling from the clouds.
The feel can be denser than the thorny vines Sleeping Beauty's prince had to get through. The motivation can brainwash you in both good and bad.
The pencil flows like a water upstream. The paper reacts and makes a beautiful scene. The paint and the brushes, the feeling of happiness rushes. I feel my sadness cease as it turns into a masterpiece.
I am no artist, I have no paint. I use my imagination to create my masterpiece. I am no actor, I have no stage. I use my brain to create my show. I am a writer, I have a computer. I use my whole body to create my story.
How I let my pencil take control. In my mind there is never a hole. I am no actor, I have no stage. I use my brain to create my masterpiece. I am no artist, I have no paint. I use my imagination to create my masterpiece. I am a writer, I have a computer. I use my whole body to create my story. Oh, how I let my pencil take control. In my mind there is never a hole.
The world of Mayo is a Mayoism.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere? Have you ever felt like you could disappear, like you could fall and no one would hear? These powerful lyrics are from the song You Will Be Found from the hit Broadway musical Dear Evan Hansen. The high school dance company explored the psychology of loneliness and human connection. The dancers shared their own experiences of isolation and the role that social media can play in making us feel insignificant. These themes are reflected in the powerful choreography, which reminds us of the importance of connection and friendships. We hope that you enjoy this piece, and remember, if you only look around, you will be found.
Have you ever felt like nobody was there? Have you ever felt forgotten in the middle of nowhere. Have you ever felt like you could disappear? Like you could fall and no one would hear? Well, let that lonely feeling wash away. Maybe there's a reason to believe you'll be okay. 'Cause when you don't feel strong enough to stand, if you can reach out your hand. And oh, someone will come running, and I know they'll take you home. Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, and when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. So let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. Lift your head and look around. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
There's a place where we don't have to feel unknown.
Oh my God, everybody needs to see this.
Every time that you call out, you're a little less alone.
I can't stop watching this video. 17 years
If
old.
you only say the word.
Take 5 minutes. This will make your day.
From across the silence, your voice is heard.
Share it with the people you love. Repost.
The world needs to hear this.
A beautiful tribute.
Favorite, I know someone who really needed to hear this today. So thank you, Evan Hansen, for doing what you're doing.
I never met you, Connor, but coming on here, reading everyone's posts, it's so easy to feel alone, but Evan is exactly right. We're not alone. We're not alone. None of us. None of us. None of us are alone.
Well, especially now, with everything you hear in the news.
Share.
Repost.
Thank you, Evan Hansen, for giving us a space to remember Connor. To be together. To find each other. Sending prayers from Michigan, Vermont, Tampa,
Sacramento.
Thank you, Evan Hansen.
Repost. Thank you, Evan Hansen. For this video. Thank you.
Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need a friend to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. Let the sun come streaming in, you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. Out of the shadows, the morning is breaking and all is new. All is new. It's filling up the empty, and suddenly I see that all is new. All is new. You are not alone. 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 Even when the dark comes crashing through, when you need someone to carry you, when you're broken on the ground, you will be found. You'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you only look around, you will be found. You will be found. You will be found. You will be found.
You will be found.
song, Mata del Anima Sola, is a Spanish folk song inspired by a poem by Alberto Torrealba. The piece has two distinct sections, one slow and meditative, and the other one very quick and rhythmic. The slow music depicts the solitude and mystery of the high plains of Venezuela, and the fast section depicts a windstorm. And the choir imitates typical instruments of Venezuela, like the basses, the guitars, and maracas, and harps, to create excitement. I present to you the vocal 3 and 4 majors singing Mata del Anima Sola, Tree of the Lonely Soul.
Mata dell'anima sola, boquerón de banco largo, ya podrás decir ahora, aquí dormió, canta claro.
Con el silbo la picada de la brisa coreadora, con el silbo la picada de la brisa coleadora. La tarde catira y mora, la tarde catira y mora, entra el coralón callada. La tarde catira y mora, la tarde catira y mora, entra el coralón callada.
Mata dell'anima sola, boquerón de banco largo, ya podrás decir ahora, aquí dormió, canta claro.
Con el cibo y la picada de la brisa colladora, con el cibo y la picada de la brisa colladora. La tarde canti remora, la tarde canti remora, entró el coralón de callada. La tarde canti remora, la tarde canti remora, entró el coralón de callada.
Several of my classes this year have been doing pieces which are based on quotes from William Shakespeare, and I thought it'd be awesome to have my friend Joe Protakovich talk a little about that. One of the pieces we're doing this year is called Cry Havoc.
Cry Havoc is a soliloquy said by Mark Antony in the play Julius Caesar. It is in response to the betrayal and assassination of Julius Caesar at the hands of the conspirators. It serves pretty much as a battle cry that promises to plunge Rome into a civil war while Mark Antony goes on his quest for vengeance.
What about that part of the poem? I'm calling it a poem. What about that part where he says, the evil men do lives after them, and the good lies interred with their bones? What does that mean?
Basically, that is meant to rally up the people of Rome by pointing out the fact that we often forget the good things that people have done in the past once they've died, and to remind them how great of a person Caesar was. And in the meantime, pointing out that the evil that the conspirators have committed will continue and to affect the people of Rome.
Let's see if you can get all of that out of this piece of music. It's called Cry Havoc.
And now,
back to the show.
Back to the show.
The islands of Trinidad and Tobago are located in the West Indies, just off the coast of Venezuela. This is the birthplace of the steel drum. Many people think that Jamaica is where the steel drum was invented, but that is not the case. Prior to World War II, warships would dump their used oil barrels onto the islands of Trinidad, which caused quite a mess. However, the people of Trinidad were resourceful and decided to use these drums as musical instruments, and the steel drum was created. The song you are about to hear is a typical representation of the music of Trinidad and Tobago, and would often be heard during the season of Carnival. This is Steel Panda's rendition of Queen of the Bands.
Education teaches us to synthesize information and make it our own. As an academic and a senior piano major, I can tell you that a CAV education gives us information and encourages us to think about it for ourselves, form our own conclusions, give it our own perspective, and take action with our own ideas, academically or artistically. The pianist Arkadia Volodos took Mozart's beloved Turkish march and put his own plush, virtuoso interpretation on it. Volodos says the virtuosity is more in the head than the fingers. Giving one's own perspective on any information makes it one's own.
In this next piece by the Dance Twos, you see aspects of Drums Alive infused into the choreography. Drums Alive is a cardio fitness class based on drumming, choreography, and patterns to improve fitness and cognition. Enjoy this next piece, Run Boy Run by Wilkid.
Voices of Calloway, universal language. All cultures have a musical heritage that can be understood no matter what language one speaks. In this work, students address music and what it means to us as a people.
The water's crashing upon my head, all shiny, all steely, like a piece of lead. Blue eyes sparkling like the sun, shining down on the river. Brown eyes, smooth and muddy. Everything is silent.
I go to my instrument and play a few notes, and there's an immediate antidote. I feel good, and with a smile on my face, I enter the world and find my place.
Flowing sound as smooth as soft silk blanketing of the souls of music, combining and weaving every string of music and showering it in the air, catching the hearts as being of elegance at its purest, enjoying the sound and applause of the crowd with their own sound. Music can heal anyone's bruises. Love is what it uses, and because of how it feels, it makes all the worries seal.
Piano is very peaceful, just like the wind. The sound is beautiful like a sunrise. I hope it never dies. You enter into galaxies deeper than eyes can see, that ears can hear, a world where your voice is the only language.
The music makes me sway like a gentle wind.
I can't sing it, but I can play it.
The soothing voice of the flute helps you understand what I feel.
It's my life, my voice, and I will display it.
If I saw the music, it would be a dream, or what it would look like to me.
But now I see the music come to life. Is this what a musician feel like?
The sound in your chest fills the room to the brim.
As it carries through the world in most uncertain ways.
Where there is life, there is song.
Music is my love.
Voices that work together, instruments that bring the voices together. The love of music flows and the journey will just begin. All the notes and the fingers playing up and down on the scales, so calm and so pleasant, so fast. Playing hands and reading and the notes playing is so pretty and so happy. I go to my instruments and play a few notes, and it is an immediate antidote. Music, oh it makes me so glad when I'm sad. A wonderful sounds it brings to cab. The show is very near. The whole audience will be listening ear to ear. I will have to practice and give my best. Only then will my band director be able to rest. Music is the way to speak, and without music, I am weak.
Stonehenge was built in phases between 3100 BC and 2000 BC. It is located in Great Britain. It is made up of 80 stone pillars. The beginning of our piece starts and creates the mystery of Stonehenge, and it goes into a very lively Irish or English jig. We hope you enjoy creation of Stonehenge.
All right.
This arrangement of Oyoyo by Stephen Hatfield is based on a folk song from Quebec.
Cet arrangement de Oyoyo par Stephen Hatfield est basé sur une chanson populaire de Québec.
It's sung in Canadian French, which is quite different from European French.
Elle est chantée dans le français canadien qui est complètement différent du français européen.
This flirtatious song is a game of call and response between the tenors and the basses who portray monks.
Cette chanson coquette est un jeu de cris et réponses entre les teneurs et basses qui représentent les moines et les
and the sopranos and altos
sopranos, oui, alto,
who portray young ladies.
qui représentent les jeunes demoiselles.
In Quebec, un moine is not only a monk, but it's a spinning top. And many rhythmic songs of merry monks like this one were sung by children who were spinning tops as games.
En Québec, un moine, ce n'est pas seulement un moine, mais aussi une toupie. Et beaucoup de chansons rythmiques des joyeux moines, comme celui-ci, ont été chantées par les enfants pendant qu'ils jouaient les jeux avec ces toupies.
The high school vocal 1 and 2 majors now present Oh Yo Yo.
Notre école secondaire des majeurs 1 et 2 maintenant vous présente Oh Yo Yo.
Good evening. The Cab Calloway Symphonic Band, directed by Dr. Carlton Cannon, will be performing a medley of smooth fusion classics. Street Life by Randy Crawford, Songbird by Kenny G, On Broadway by George Benson, and What a Fool Believes by the Doobie Brothers. Enjoy.
Winterbean. Yes, Rutherford? What are you reading today? I'm just catching up on my Dickens, and you?
Well, I thought I'd entertain myself with a bit of Shakespeare today, just for old time's sake.
Marvelous. I try to get acquainted with the old bard at least once a month.
Did you know that Shakespeare is believed to have influenced the English language more than any other writer in history, inventing, or at least popularizing, words and phrases that we still use today in everyday conversation?
Oh, that is interesting.
And did you know that Shakespeare actually went to London to become an actor, but he became successful as a playwright and went for that?
Did you know your mother's a floozy?
You know, Shakespeare was actually born in Stratford-upon-Avon on April 23rd, 1564. Well, most people seem to believe that he was born on April 24th.
Oh, well, either way, he's just a few days younger than your mother, the old bag.
Some sort of problem with my mother, Winthrop?
No. I'm simply stating facts. Same as you, old pal.
I see.
Yes.
You know, Winthrop, I heard that Shakespeare only wrote Hamlet because his son died.
Oh, really? Is that so?
Oh, yes, it is.
I wish your mother would hurry up and die already.
Winthrop, is there something I've done to slight you recently to make you berate my poor mother so?
No, Rutherford. Simply poking a bit of fun is all.
Shakespeare married Anne Hathaway when she was only 15 years old, and she was only 3 months pregnant at the time.
Your mother looks like she's 3 months pregnant.
Shakespeare's biggest competition was Christopher Marlowe, who was actually more famous than him.
Your mother's biggest competition is forgetting to breathe. Because she's an idiot.
Shakespeare's first published play was Henry VI, Part 2.
Well, your mother never cared about you. Mothers never care about anyone but themselves. They'll tell you they come to your first croquet match and they never show up.
Winthrop, you never told me you were treated so unfairly. By your own mother, no less. I'll attend your next croquet match, if you let me.
I'd actually prefer you didn't, but that's a kind thought.
You know, I believe it was Shakespeare who once said, I am not the one who loved wisely, but too well.
Shakespeare sucks, and so does your mom.
I know she does, Winthrop. I know she does.
Oh, me. Oh, my. Oh.
Who will believe my verse in time to come if it were filled with your most high deserts? Though yet heaven knows it is but a tune that hides your life and shows not half your parts.
If I could write the beauty of your eyes, and in fresh numbers number all your graces, the ages to come would say, this poet lies. Such heavenly touches never touched earthly faces.
So should my papers, yellowed with their age, be scorned like old men of less truth in tongue? And your true rights be termed a poet's rage, and stretched meter of an antique song?
But were a child of yours alive that time, you should live twice, in it and in my rhyme.
Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove.
Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark that looks on tempest and is never shaken. It is the star to every wandering bark, whose worth unknown, although his height be taken.
Love is not time's fool. Though rosy lips and cheeks within his bending sickle's compass come, love alters not within his brief hours or weeks, but bears it out, even to the edge of doom.
If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved.
Rhythms are all around us. The focus in this AP Psychology and Middle School Dance Company collaboration piece was on the internal rhythms that guide our behavior. In preparation for this piece, the dance company, Mrs. Madsen Robbins, and I spent 45 minutes discussing sleep, dreams, and sleep disorders. In addition, the dance company performed the piece for the AP Psychology class, and we debriefed about our experience. In dance, rhythms are an internal drive that is forced out of the body as a personal expression, and the inside is on display for all to experience. In psychology, research shows that every cell has a rhythm. According to Jeffrey C. Hall, Michael Rushbosh, and Michael W. Young, the 3 current winners of the Nobel Prize for Medicine, their research shows the clock regulates critical functions such as behavior, hormone levels, sleep, body temperature, and metabolism. In this piece, look for the cyclic nature of our body as we go in and out of sleep and how these patterns are displayed through movement.
I am excited to have had the opportunity to work with Mr. Gregory's art students and talk about the Fibonacci sequence. The sequence begins with 0 and 1, and the remaining numbers in the sequence are created by adding the previous two numbers in the sequence together. A fascinating fact about the Fibonacci numbers is that they appear frequently in nature. For instance, the number of spirals in a pineapple or pine cones, or the number of spirals in the seeds of sunflowers are frequently Fibonacci numbers. Another interesting fact is that as the sequence gets longer, the ratios between adjacent numbers converge on a special number 1.618, which is called the golden ratio. In art, architecture, and even the human form, it has been widely accepted that when things exist or when works are created according to the golden ratio, they are pleasing to the human eye. Mr. Gregory's students have created a wonderful visual representation of the Fibonacci sequence. I hope you enjoy it as much as I do.
The next piece, the Dance 3 class, will be dancing to a spoken word masterpiece, Body Love by Mary Lambert. This poem will resonate with many people with every powerful word that is spoken. The essence of the poem deals with loving yourself for who you are in every stage of life.
Not only is this moving poem relevant to everyone, but it is also reflected in the English curriculum of accepting others for their differences. Please listen and watch the talented dancers demonstrate that you too can be a holy tree stump with leaves sprouting out, reborn.
I know girls who are trying to fit into the social norm like squeezing in a last year's prom dress. I know girls who are low-rise, MAC eyeshadow and binge drinking. I know girls that wonder if they're disaster and sexy enough to fit in. I know girls who are fleeing bombs from the mosques of their skin, playing Russian roulette with death. It's never easy to accept that our bodies are fallible and flawed. When do we draw the line? When the knife hits the skin, isn't it the same thing as purging because we're so obsessed with death? Some women just have more guts than others. The funny thing is women like us don't shoot. We swallow pills, still wanting to be beautiful at the morgue, still proceeding to put on makeup, still hoping that the mortician finds us sexy and attractive. We might as well be buried with our shoes and handbags and scarves. Girls, we flirt with death every time we etch a new tally mark into our skin. I know how to split my wrists to reveal a battlefield too, but the time has come for us to reclaim our bodies. Our bodies deserve more than to be war-torn and collateral, offering this as a pathetic means to say, I only know how to exist when I am wanted. I know I remember the first time you touched someone with the sole purpose of learning all of them. Love your body the way your mother loved your baby feet. And brother, arm wrapping shoulders, and remember this is important. You are worth more than who you attract. You are worth more than a waistline. You are worth more than beer bottles displayed like drunken artifacts. You are worth more than any naked body could proclaim in the shadows. More than a man's whim or your father's mistake. You are no less valuable as a size 16 than a size 4. You are no less valuable as a 32A than a 36C. Your sexiness is defined by concentric circles within your wood. It is wisdom. You are a holy tree stump with leaves sprouting out. Reborn.
Hi, Mr. Greider again. In this next piece from my Cinema 2 class, in collaboration with Mr. Kilheffer, Mrs. Protakovich, Mr. Domley, Mr. Kofader, and a special guest at the end, in it they investigate the daily happenings of Cab Calloway. I hope you enjoy this cinematic piece.
All right, guys, how'd the homework go on the thumb scale? Okay, all right, well, before we get started, I want to come around, I want to check your homework. If you guys could talk to each other, if you have any questions, ask each other, and if there are any remaining questions when you're done with that, I'll take those on myself, okay? All right.
Yo, Sam. What are you doing out here, man?
Nothing, sir.
Why aren't you in class?
No reason.
Well, get your stuff together and go to class, okay?
Yes, sir.
Right.
Sorry.
All right.
Voices of Calloway, Art in Motion. Some art forms use the body itself as the medium for creation. This adds a new dimension to human creativity. This piece delves into art in performance and bodies in motion.
I know this is all very fake, but the audience thinks that there is some mistake. They gasp as I fall to the floor, the play is over, and they all roar.
Moving your body fast, moving your body slow, moving to the speed of the show.
I fell in love with the waves at sea because the music drifts across.
You don't speak. When dancing is your words, you breathe in and out. The cool thing is, you don't know where the movement leads to. So you just keep moving. Dance is artistic, it flows like the wind, graceful as a swan.
I write on paper, I type on computer. I love both but prefer neither. When I get home, I lay down. After that, I want to play a game. My mom told me to take a seat to do my homework. I wrote about fireworks eating a clerk. It took hard work, but it was worth all of the drama.
The foundation of drama is confidence. Without it, your emotion will die. Your character will cry, your passion shall say goodbye.
Add a little creativity and you will thrive.
The end! Goodbye, friends.
People talk all the time about how mathematics and music are so closely aligned. And I thought I'd invite my friend here, Mr. Mack, to talk about one of the most famous mathematicians, Pythagoras.
Right. I teach geometry in the 8th grade, and one of the equations that we use every day is the Pythagorean theorem. Pythagoras was born in ancient Greek between 570 BC to 495 BC. And in his lifetime, he and his follower actually created this equation called the Pythagoras theorem. It's all about the right angle triangle. And the formula goes like a squared plus b squared equals c squared.
But Pythagoras wasn't only interested in math, he was also interested in music. And he devised a system of tuning called the Pythagorean tuning system, which means that open fifths, for example, from C to G, if they're in a ratio of 3 to 2, sound really, really good. And a lot of choirs will try to use Pythagorean tuning when they sing. You might hear a little of that today